All welcome back. This is Dino the Ops Guy with Production Management and Practice, or Stardew Production Management 101. It's a course where we start with the environment in which production is done, and use that as the sort of the impetus to come up discuss different production management principles rather than start with a textbook or start with somewhere else. And there's some advantages to that, I have to say. In the last episode, we achieved what is it called? Artisan. Anyway, so essentially, once you get to level 10 of farming, you can get a buff, whether it's your crops grow faster at 10%, or you get 40% more for all artisan products. And Av and myself chose that we should do the 40% more. So the upside is we get a lot more money for our stuff. The downside is we had to change all of our calculations, all of our tables, all of our everything. So essentially, one of the key things I said early on in the if you call it a podcast or in the course is that as a production manager, not only do you have to know the numbers that you need, but you actually, in some cases, just have to go out and get them. So there will be some IT packages that will have a lot of the numbers that you need, and you'll just import those. But for the most part, it doesn't matter what ERP or what kind of warehouse management system or planning system or whatever that you have. There will likely be a situation where you have to go and get numbers on the floor, either yourself or assign someone to do that. So the data becomes important, not just from the standpoint of understanding the data that's there, which a lot of courses will talk about, but actually getting the data that you need on your own if you need to. So given that those numbers have changed, we have new tables. So I want to get into that. I just introduced a keg jar tool where we were talking about, what situations should we use kegs, what situations should we use jars, etc. And this tool basically ranks the things that we, if you put in it, the things we have, or just anything that we decide. In this case, I did put in the inventory that we have. We have one star fruit that's silver, so a quantity 1. Pumpkin, we don't have any yet, but I put it in just so we could see where it ranked. Melon, we have 69 that are not that are just regular quality, 32 that are silver quality, and 8 that are gold quality. Crystal fruit, we have 4 regular, etc. And you can see going down. Basically, those are our inventory numbers, and the idea being we should be able to figure out what we should put in a keg, what we should put in a jar, etc., so that the kegs and the jars and the dehydrators never stop, essentially. So if you were looking at this, the number one for all, let's look at starfruit. If we grow a starfruit, it's going to give us 1,030 base. If we put in a keg, it's going to be 3,150. If we put in a jar, it's going to be 2,170. A dehydrator is going to be 7,910. But we have to understand that that's for 5 of them. So on a per unit basis, the dehydrator has a lift of 552 per starfruit, where the jar has a lift of 1,140 per starfruit, and the keg has a lift of 2,120 per starfruit. And it really works out to the keg lift. If you want to cut in half, you get the jar lift, and roughly if you want to cut in half, you get the dehydrator. So clearly, we want to put it in the jar keg because that gives us the most. It's the max, 2120, and there's a little K next to 2120 to tell us that comes from the keg. So when you look down the list, if you start on the left side there with the K, J, and D columns, that K column is the ranking of all those items in order for what's the best to put in a keg. The next list for the J is all the ranking for ones put in a jar, and the D is for the ones for putting in a dehydrator. And of course, starfruit is the top of all lists. Pumpkin is number 2 on the keg and the jar, but it doesn't dehydrate, so it's like it doesn't even rank. 19 in the dehydrator. And then melon, which is base, that's 3rd on the dehydrator, and 4th on the keg, 4th on the jar, whatever, etc. And we can look down, but when we look through this predominantly, even more so now that we have the Artisan designation, predominantly keg is the one that gives us the most. So if we're looking at where's the best bang for the buck, well, for the first, let's say 7, 8, 10, whatever, it's pretty much all keg stuff. So we can look at that, and then we can say, well, geez, let's just put everything through kegs. That sounds great, and we can look at. So we say, well, that's just the flat rate. Could things go faster? And in some cases, yeah, they could. So if we're just looking at, for example, melon, plain melon, versus hops. Well, whether we put the melon first or the hops first, as long as we put melon hops or hops melon, at the end of the cycle, we get the value for both of them. But the difference is if we do hops first, we get that money faster. So, for example, starfruit does 300 lift per day. Pumpkin does 141. Just the base pumpkin has 141 lift per day. Melon has 110 lift per day. But I don't. How does that not work out? So hops, 193. So you can see the hops is better than the. It's not better than the starfruit, but it is better than the pumpkin, and it is better than the melon. So from that standpoint, and then we can go down to the secondary hops, and basically it works out that even the wheat 126 is better than the melon. It works out that as long as we agree that all of this stuff is going through, we can change the order of what's going through so that we get the stuff that we want faster. And in that case, we really want to prefer the things that take a day or 2 days versus the things that take 6 days in the keg. So then we get into this notion of getting back to a bit of the capacity model, right? So if we say, well, the thing that returns the most lift per day on the keg is wild honey. It creates mead. And that takes essentially 1 day. It actually takes 10 hours. We can do a couple in a day, but let's be conservative. We only check it once per day. It can do 1 per day. And we have 23 of them. So that works out to 23 keg days. And for the hops, we have 44 of them, and they take 2 days. Again, it's only 1.5, but let's call it 2. That's going to take 88 keg days. The hops gold are going to take 66 keg days, etc. And we can work down. Well, we have 12 kegs, so we can extend that across 12 kegs. So if the first thing we put in is wild honey, we'll be out of wild honey in 2 days. That doesn't necessarily mean it'll be exactly 2 days. There could be some stuff we already have in that's going to be 6 days long, and it's going to tie up 1 or 2 or whatever kegs. But on a cycle basis, it really only takes 2 days of those cycles. Hops is going to take another 7 days, and we're looking at the last column to say the accumulated days. A couple days of honey. If we add the hops in, it works out to 9.25 days. Add the hops gold in as well, works out to almost 15 days. Add the wheat in, we're up to almost 16 days. And then if we add the melon, because we have 69 melon and they take 7 days each, by the time we've gotten through wild honey, hops, wheat, and all the base melon, not even talking about the extra melons, the silver and gold, not talking about pumpkin at all, that's 56 days of accumulation for all the 10 kegs that we have. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. How long? Because 56 days is almost as long as we've played the game. 56 days takes us all the way through fall, all the way through winter, and almost to summer. Maybe it is even summer. I didn't do the exact math. But so what we're saying is this may be the most lucrative way. We're going to get the most money. But it's going to take us a really, really, really long time to get any of that money. And even though we've reordered it so we get the fast money first, it really ties up a lot of our inventory for a long time. And we really have to think, if this is the way it is, maybe we need more kegs. So maybe 10 isn't enough, or 12 isn't enough. So, of course, if we change from 12 to 14, whatever, then the accumulated days goes down. And we can work out. I mean, it's a straight calculation to say we have 23 keg days. If we have 23 kegs, that's only going to be one day because it's just a division kind of thing, right? So, but clearly, the situation we're in now is we're sitting on a lot of money, but it's going to take us a long time to return that money. So we have a new plan. The first part, there's two parts to it. The first part of the plan is those fast things: honey, hops, wheat. And then once we blow through those, melon and pumpkin. And then we can, whenever we have starfruit or ancient, we can throw one of those in. That's fine. But those have priority. And when I say melon and pumpkin, certainly melon, just the base melon. And pumpkin, we're probably just going to start with the base pumpkin. And then anything other than that, be it melon silver or melon gold, or be it pumpkin gold, or whatever the case, or even stuff we know we have like peaches and crystal fruit. I mean, they're number 6 and 7 on the keg list, but we're not going to get to them to make it worth our while. So we're going to say if we need them for jars, they become top of the jars list. So we are shifting things to say anything at that front end, let's say the first 50 days or so, we're just going to sort of lock in. And anything after that becomes free game, not because we're going to get all that money through a keg, to say maybe we're going to give up some money, but we're going to get a lot faster by putting in jars or putting in dehydrators or somewhere else. So that becomes the approach to it. So that's the first part. The second part is we need more kegs. If we need more kegs, that means we should move the tappers from maple to oak. And we should get more wood, and we should get more copper, and we should get more iron, all in the focus of the faster we can get kegs, the faster we can sort of disperse that inventory and get to real stuff, and maybe even starting to include the silver melons and the gold melons, etc. Those types of things. But this is a big part of we're in a good situation. This is clearly not a bad situation to have this much money and this much good inventory and these many resources, but we'd still like it to go a lot faster, and we now have a plan for it to go faster, focusing on what we're going to put in the kegs and what we're going to release to other secondaries, and looking at how we can get more kegs. So a lot of this is going to fall on Av. So these are sort of the tasks that I'm giving Av for 66 today. Day 66, water and harvest the crops and otherwise, pet the animals and process the animal products, and rearrange the tappers so we can start taking advantage of more oak resin. And if there's free time, forage, mine, so that sort of thing. And I'm going to turn it over to Av. Thanks, Dino. Okay, we are back. The spirits are somewhat mildly perturbed. And it's going to be cloudy with gusts tomorrow. So, so we got to do some way to get more kegs. We can do that. I think I like that idea. So, and Marnie is selling a new item, the auto grabber. So, I think the best thing about the auto grabber is, especially for the goats that only produce every other day, we don't have to worry about making sure that we get them every other day. The grabber just does that for us. So that's kind of a nice thing. I noticed that tree has somehow changed. There was a tree back there. That was a maple tree, but I can't put any tapper on it. So clearly an oak tree. So it's not an oak tree anymore. It's somehow morphed into some other crazy tree. But so these are the oak trees that we have on farm. We don't have to just exclusively think of on the farm. We can put them off the farm. That other oak tree is not really supposed to be there, so I don't want to put a tapper on something that's not supposed to be there. But we should plant more oak for sure. And you can see in front of where that tapper is, we had a couple oak that are starting up. But we do want to clean up that area just so that we can get around there faster and for some visibility. But I want to open up a new oak area as well. So that'll happen. Look at all the kegs. They're full. That's awesome. We're getting some good money out of those kegs. So we'll drop off the mushrooms, but we'll keep the chanterelle for the jars, because that's going to be on our jar queue. We're going to have to figure out what else we want on our jar queue now that we can put more stuff that would normally go towards the kegs that we're not going to have time for. So the jar setup is going to be good. We got an iridium egg. Look at that. That's crazy that we should get it this early. That's awesome. So we have an iridium egg, and there is the Grange Festival coming next week, and I think I'm going to include that iridium egg in the Grange Festival because it is a kind of a showpiece. It is kind of nice to have. Probably a few things we can. Wait a minute. Whitney didn't get pet. There we go. How did that happen? I pet everyone. I pet all those chickens. The hens are getting the best of me. I don't understand. Okay. So we'll go and harvest the apple and put in the apple jelly. Okay. So this is the area I want to clean up for. Oh, I've got to get rid of that maple tree. This is the area I want to clean up for the oak. So the idea being that it's on our path, it's good visibility. So when the oak resin's ready, we'll see it right away. So we don't have to go searching for it, and that's good. We are going to put in our honey, as we were saying. That's sort of the next schedule for the kegs. All honey. So we were able to fill that. And that only takes, I think, is 10 hours. I say one day because if I'm not around, if we're at the desert or something, or, when we finally get to Ginger Island kind of thing, we'll never get back for it. But if we happen to be nearby, we can probably get 2 cycles in there and even make more money. So that's a nice thing. We got our blueberries for the dehydrator. Again, we probably want to look at the dehydrator, what schedule we want in the dehydrator now that there's some things that we've designated as too long to wait for. Oh, Meow with a pet is now giving us a salmon. That's very nice. So now that we know that not everything is going to fit the keg schedule, we can do a better job of the jar and the dehydrator schedule accordingly. So we're going to water all the plants. Still a lot of plants to water. Now that I see we have a pumpkin, that's awesome. We're going to take that pumpkin over to the community center, and that's going to close out the bundle for fall crops. And that's going to basically get us a repaired greenhouse. So we're going to have to start thinking about what to put in the greenhouse. That's a nice problem to have, I got to tell you. So, okay, let's put the goat milk in, the 2 respective goat milks for the press, and we got an egg ready. So we're not putting in that iridium egg. No, we're going to keep that for now. I wonder if it's better to sell the iridium egg than the mayonnaise. I got to do that calculation because in some cases it's not worth putting in the mayonnaise machine. We're going to put those mixed seeds where the pumpkin were, so they're going to carry on with that, with the sprinkler there. So I was thinking of getting to Clint's, but it's getting late for Clint's, and I don't know that. I think we're just better off doing our regular trip of going to Pierre's and dumping off all the stash, and then if there's still time, maybe go down to the ocean. But even the ocean, I don't think is going to be worthwhile. So. Okay, so let's just, we'll go to Pierre's, and then we got to go to the community center. And we also, not only did we get the pumpkin, but we got a duck. Oh, it's closed. I forgot Wednesdays. I remember Wednesday's closed. I forgot today's Wednesday. That's not good. Okay, so here's the situation we're in. We got 22,000. We're going to get to 25 to get to the lava katana. And I don't think there's a way we can get there because Clint's is going to be closed in half an hour. I don't think we can fish or get enough of the fishing stuff in to get us to 25,000 if we go to Willie's, and probably don't have time for that. And the only thing left is Marlin, and I don't think we can make up that gap for the 2,500 or whatever to get there. I think we have to wait till tomorrow until we get the lava katana. That's not exciting to me. I didn't sell off that last fairy rose because we're going to use this chest to collect stuff that we want to bring to the Grange. And that fairy rose honey is one of the things we want to bring to the Grange. So to start a thoughtful collection as far as things we want to put on display. There's a score that happens, and you can win points and stuff for the Grange, what you've entered. And that could lead to... I usually make it lead to one of the prize tickets, so that works for me. Okay, there's the pumpkin. And we end up with a bee house. I wasn't sure if it was a bee house or a keg. I guess we got the keg earlier. And there's a Jumino party, or Junimo party. I can never pronounce their names. I mean, I can. I just never remember which one it is. So let's put the duck feather away. That's not going to be as much of a party. But it is a good step in the right direction. And I think we have to head back and see what we can do. We're going to say hi to Caroline. Head back and see what we can do to advance growing the oak. So, and we're going to say hi to Pam. I think she's happy that she's driving again. So let's collect some wood. Oh, and I see over there on the left, I see um, hazelnut. And that's good because I think that's one of the missing that we need for fall seeds. So we can convert to fall seeds and then convert to tea saplings, which is very lucrative. So let's clean stuff up. We want to keep those acorns because we're going to be growing some stuff. Move the we're going to move the put the hazelnut away. We're going to move the bee house so it's easy to place. We can't put it on the end. We have to sort of create a new layer, if you will. And I don't want to block anything out, but that I can still reach the one behind that one. So that's good. And I'm moving the melon. There's not a lot of room here, is there? That's okay. We'll make some room. We had enough oak resin and the like to make 2 more cakes. We're going to put our star fruit in the last cake. Hopefully that'll be ready for the Grange. I'm not sure that it will. Use honey in one of them. And we're going to basically create a honey hop starter, so that we could put that in the greenhouse because we know that's coming. And I'm going to put a little funny pattern here for oak so that they're just easier to see. If you get if we get oak resin, it'll be visible. So check to see all the animals are home and all the ladies in the coop. Yeah, all good. So I do probably, let's get some wood in here. I do probably want to move some of our good stuff to that Grange exhibit chest, which used to, so recently was the cauliflower chest, or the spring season chest. We got truffles. That's cool. One of those truffles is going to go in the Grange display. We got a shimmery thing going on in this lake. I like shimmery things going on in lakes because we can pan them, in this case, into 3 iron and 3 coal. Beautiful. Love that. All right, more wood. It helps us in making our kegs. It helps us in making our barns, our final coop, I guess. And it's going to help us for the house as well. So once we get the barns done and we get into the desert proper, we are going to start collecting wood and stone for improving the house. I don't think we need stone, actually. I think it's just wood. So here we're just going to get the easy to get hardwood. We're not going to try and engage in any slime unless it seems like it's going to be the slime or the wood kind of situation. So if we can avoid slime, we're just going to avoid them. We're sort of in a rush. Now, we got a mahogany seed. That's good. So we're going to plant that mahogany seed. And in doing so, we're probably going to try and keep the mahogany structure close. We don't want to block the kegs because we do need to know when the kegs are ready. So I'm thinking we may just want to, I know there were some that were fully grown. Let's knock down one of those that were fully grown so that we can put that in. And we have more keg work, so let's get the honey. We don't have enough honey, so let's also get some hops. That'll be good. Get our silver hops. So honey, 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 sugar, sugar. Okay, and then pop in the hops in the last 2. We'll knock down this tree if we don't get a mahogany seed. I'd like to get a mahogany, but if we don't, we'll just plant this one here. And that's good. At some point, we will probably want to tree fertilize those oak, but I don't think it's going to be tonight. I think we're running out of time on that. Let's use our last milk, the one that's been stowaway. We've been carrying it around for a while. Again, the Grange is coming. Let's get 1 goat cheese gold star and 1 truffle, the best truffle, and our best egg. And put that with our fairy rose honey as a start for all of our collection. And we will clean up. We will use clear up these purple mushrooms with a chanterelle. We know we have a chanterelle because we just put one in. And close that out. Oh, we do want to convert to winter seeds and then convert to tree saplings. So that's going to be facilitated by our hazelnut, the missing link, and convert over. And then we have to go and get the fiber so that we can finish this off. And thankfully, we have enough wood. So let's do that. And then it's shipping time. Is there a song? Shipping time. Something like that. So, okay, clear off and all the meat. That's a good thing. And the mayonnaise. And I guess the rest is just sort of sorting stuff out for now. It's late. It's 1:20. Another 40 minutes or so, 30 and change. So let's close some of this stuff out. We do want to get another round of iron and another round of copper in. That will help us in the future with kegs. Once we get some more oak resin, we are going to drop off the mushrooms, and we are also going to drop off our hops. And I think we're going to make another chest. This is just too tight for my liking. We can decide tomorrow or the next day what we want to put in the chest, whether it's minerals or whether it's flowers, but I think we need some room for expansion. Okay, that was a good day. And we can see there was a raccoon that was hiding in our greenhouse. I'm surprised he didn't take one of the dried blueberries with him, sort of as a snack, So, okay, so we do have tomorrow's weather is rain all day, and then the fortune teller spirits are going to get in you humor. Okay, I got something else. So, Dino, I just wanted to recap on what's going on for the for petting the animals. I don't think it's a big thing. We're going to get them all pet certainly after we check the gauge, but even from before, we have to be more consistent. And so I look back to see what had gone on, and if you look at this situation, I mean, I've done this before. So when I saw this chicken, I think it's Bana or Blana. I thought, okay, well, I know there's another animal behind that. There's just sort of that funniness to the halo. So I didn't get fooled by this. So I actually pet it twice and got 2 hearts. No big deal. What I didn't realize is there were 3 here. There's 2 behind that. So there was one of the ducks and then Whitney behind this. So I missed it that way. So I think that the only thing I can really do to improve on what I've been doing before is maybe I got to count. So I know there's 5 fowl, so I got to count every time I go in the coop. It's 5. So that's sort of my my next stage to experiment with a solution. Numbers over visuals. Yeah, good point. I like that idea. So yeah. Okay. So I'm going to turn it back to you, Dino. Okay, thanks, Av. Well, we got a fair bit done. Certainly, we watered the crops and harvested all the things we needed to harvest, including twice on the kegs. Pet the animals. We figured out what was going on for the missed pet. Process the animal products, and rearrange the tappers. As far as free time, we didn't have a lot of free time. We kind of got caught with Pierre's, actually. But we did some foraging and did some cutting of wood, down in the secret forest and stuff. But for the most part, just focused on getting the new oaks and tappers in, which was a good use of time. So all in all, I think it's we're on a good pace. Hopefully, you're getting something out of this. Hopefully, it's entertaining, but even more so, hopefully, it's a good learning for you. You'll probably notice that a lot of stuff is being repeated here, and it's not repetition for the sake of repetition. It's really in the real world. Let's start with in the classroom. There's probably call it half a dozen equations that you need to know in production management class, and they're all treated kind of equally, and it's basically we'll teach the education, we'll make sure teach you the equation, make sure that you know the equation so that we test you on it, and so forth, and then you graduate and you're all good. But when you see in the real environment, we're not using 6 different equations. We're just using half of one equation and changing it, sort of, reaching around to get whatever we need from it. So you can see that this capacity model, and we don't even refer to it as a Little's Law. We just say, all right, we got this many hours, and this is how it works, and this is how we're going to spread those hours, and this is going. Those equations and those calculations come up all the time. And even in a production environment, you'll have just finished resetting the equations and equipping everyone with all the right tables, and the customer will want a discount, or there's a new tariff, or there's something, as far as the price of materials has gone up or something, and you got to start over. But that is the production environment. It's not 6, 8 equations you have to memorize. It's the one that you never really figured out, that you're just going to use 100 different ways, kind of thing. So, and you get through. So that's part of the deal. Hopefully that's coming through. If there's anything we can do to make this more educational or even more entertaining, please leave in the comments. We hope to see you in the next episode. Otherwise, this is Dino the Ops Guy signing off.